guys, now what we're going to look at is graphing a system of inequalities. Here we have two inequalities. We just need to graph both of them on the same coordinate plane. Now, just like when we had lines, the intersection was the solution. Here, the overlapping shaded region will be the solution. So sort of the intersection of the shaded regions. First thing I'm going to do is graph each of these individually. And just the lines, I'm not going to shade anything to start. Y is greater than or equal to x. Well, I know from before that this is really just in y equals mx plus b form. Now my b is 0, because I can add 0 to this without changing the value. My m, the coefficient of x, is 1, because I can multiply x times 1 and not change the value. So this is a very similar statement. If it helps you to rewrite it like that, you can go ahead and do that. What this says is my intercept is 0, 0. My slope is 1. That means I rise 1 and I go over 1. Now, looking at my 2 points here, I can draw my line. I have an or equal to sign here. And so what I can do is take this or equal to sign and know that I'm going to draw a solid line. Now when I have a system of equations, I'm going to be graphing more than one thing on a graph. So it's always helpful to label my line. Y is greater than or equal to x. Put the equation right on the line. Now here, I have a second equation, inequality, that is in standard form. When something's in standard form, I'm going to solve for my x-intercept and my y-intercept. Now I know a couple things here. I know my x-intercept will always have a y value of 0. Because when I'm somewhere along this line, the x-axis, my y value, how much up and down I've gone, if I'm on this line, will always be 0, no matter where I'm at. Same with the y. If I'm on the y-axis, my x value will always be 0. To do this, to solve for this point, I set y equal to 0. 3 times 0 is 0. Then I end up with 2x greater than 12. Isolate the x by dividing by 2. And I get x would be 6. Now on this second one, I'm going to set x equal to 0. 2 times 0 is 0. What that will leave me with is 3y is greater than 12. What I do here is again isolate the y by dividing by 3. And y is going to be 4. So now I have 2 points, which is exactly the number of points I need to draw a line. So I come over here and I continue. I've got 6, 0, and 0, 4. I can come over here and I can draw my line. Now I drew a dashed line here because I had a greater than sign. I did not have a greater than or equal to or a less than or equal to. So I have one solid line, one dashed line. Now I'm going to label my dashed line. (2x plus 3y is greater than 12). Now, instead of just dividing my coordinate plane into two sections like one would, I divided it into 4 sections. I still only need to test one point, but I need to make sure it is not on either line. Well, as I look at my graph, I say this point right here is not on either line, and the coordinates are 0, 1. This is my test point. As I look at this, I'm going to test this in both inequalities. If I tested it in y is greater than or equal to x, I would have 0 for my x, 1 for my y, and I still have my symbol. Well, is this true? Yes. 1 is greater than 0. So, as I look at the line y is greater than or equal to x, I know that all the points on this side of the line, up here and down here, make this one true. Now I need to decide what side of my dashed line would also be true at the same time. So I test the point 0, 1 in the second inequality. This is test 1. This is test 2. Test 2 says put 0 and 1 in for x and y. 2 times 0 plus 3 times 1 is greater than 12. Well, here I have 2 times 0 being 0, 3 times 1 being 3, and it leaves me with 3 is greater than 12. Now I know that not to be true. So, what that says is this dashed line, where 2x plus 3y is greater than 12, this point would not be true. So if nothing on this side of the line is true, and nothing on this side of that line is true, then the only area where both are true at the same time is going to be this area up here. And it just goes on and gets bigger to infinity. This is how you graph a basic system of inequalities with 2 inequalities in the system.